Hey guys, it's Mo from Mo in the Deep End, and we don't have an intro today because I didn't click the button fast enough. Of course, it's still a duct tape and holy water production around here, so we don't want to scare anyone. Mr. Friberto is out playing with the children and didn't want to join me today because I have been well, okay, now he wants to join me. 1 second. Yes, Your Highness Majesty. Oh, I am sorry. Just when you thought it was safe to stream. Our first story today is a Missouri man paddles 38.4 miles in a hollowed out pumpkin. Yes, I love you. We have been outside all day today. Come on now, sir. A Missouri. Hey, no, where's your bone? Shh. You're going to go out if you can't be good. Uh, sir. No. Here's your bone. Climbed into a hollowed out pumpkin he grew himself and paddled 38.4 miles down the Missouri River to break a world record. Steve Cuney of Lebanon carved his 1,208-pound pumpkin into a boat that he dubbed Huckleberry and spent 11 hours paddling from Kansas City, Kansas to Napoleon, Missouri. Why would you? You know what? You got to have a hobby, sir, and I am all for it. Get out into nature. Kinney was accompanied in his journey by about a dozen boats from the KC Paddling Club. Club members served as a support team and helped document his journey. Nebraska man named Dwayne Hansen previously set the Guinness record for longest journey by pumpkin boat. Who comes up with these ideas? And I would like you to notice that they're mostly men. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing out there that they're mostly men. Sir Bert, look, I am not above robbery. Where is your new bone? As much as I love getting bitten, the entire news broadcast, it's not always fun on my clothes. Sit. Those puppy classes cannot start soon enough. We are not always good, are we, Friberto? Kenny's team said he surpassed Hansen's total by paddling 38.4 miles. So 1 mile and some change, or mathing, it's math. Evidence from the attempt is now being submitted to Guinness World Records for official certification. I cleaned off my glasses, but I think I used the wrong thing, so it's all blurry. Wonderful. Next week, they're one night a week, and we're supposed to just learn little etiquette things, and then we'll go in. If he does well with that, we might go in for extra, because he's pretty smart-ish for a goldfish kind of dog. Look, he's my baby. I think he's smart, but I'm a mom, so. In good news that, we needed some good, like, Humanity Wins news, so I've been scouring to try to find Humanity Wins, but there are some, like Jada Pinkett Smith stuff too, so. Fundraiser for Olympian Mary Lou Retton exceeds its goal as she's fighting for her life in ICU. A fundraiser, so I reported up on this morning, and as I was scouring for news today and working on a couple of other things, I came across the story that said that a fundraising effort for Mary Lou Retton, the American gymnast who became a sports icon when she won the Olympic gold in 1984, has reached its goal as she continues to battle a very rare form of pneumonia, according to her daughter. Retton, 55, has been hospitalized in an intensive care unit for 1 week and is not able to breathe on her own, Retton's daughter, McKenna Kelly, shared on Instagram this week. Kelly is one of Retton's four daughters and a gymnast who competed for Louisiana State University, linked to a fundraising page for her mom, who she says is not insured. We ask that if you could help in any way, that you, one, pray, and two, if you could help us with finances for the hospital bill, Kelly wrote on the fundraising page. Anything, absolutely anything would be so helpful for my family and my mom. As of Wednesday morning, the page exceeded its stated $50,000 goal and has raised nearly 1,007 words and numbers, $175,000 and counting. Kelly did not share further details on her mother's condition or health battle she is facing, writing, "Out of respect for her and her privacy, I will not disclose all details." So I am just really glad that, we needed some good news. We need some good news that shows that humanity is, still there, and we can all work together sometimes. And so it was really heartening to see that, just like almost, well, within a day of reading the story, that her fundraiser got funded and her family has at least got one less worry. In, well, the opposite end of humanity, Salman Rushdie was stabbed on stage last year, and he's releasing a memoir about the attack. Now, Salman Rushdie is a very, very controversial figure. He's had a fatwa on his head for a long time. Reason being, there are several verses in okay, there's several versions, well, not versions of the Quran. Look, I'm not a Quranic teacher, but basically, there are, like the Bible and the Council of Nicaea and different things that happened where books of the Bible were maybe taken out, put in, different things, the Council of Trent, different things where different popes would put in and take out different books. I'm no more about Christianity, okay? There are different scriptures, different books, different parts of the Quran that certain sects have taken out or maybe put back in or don't believe in. Well, Salman Rushdie wrote a book about certain verboten uh, verses, and I believe it was called, I want to say, the demonic verses or something like that. Look, again, I know much more about Christianity. Anyway, ever since that book came out, he had many, many issues with many, many people from Islamic backgrounds. And last year, he got attacked by a person of such background. Salman Rushdie has a memoir coming out about the horrifying attack that left him blind in his right eye and with a damaged left hand. Media Knife Meditations After an Attempted Murder. You know, that would be an interesting read. I might actually have to read that. Will be published April 16th. Quote, "This was a necessary book for me to write, a way to take charge of what happened and answer violence with art," Rushdie said in a statement released Wednesday by Penguin Random House. Last August, Rushdie was stabbed repeatedly in the neck and abdomen by a man who rushed the stage as the author was about to give a lecture in Western New York. The attacker, Hadi Matar, has pleaded not guilty to the charges of assault and attempted murder. It was only videotaped, but okay. For some time after Iran's Grand Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini issued the 1989 fatwa calling for Rushdie's death over alleged blasphemy in his novel, The Satanic Verses, the writer lived in isolation with round-the-clock security. But for years since, he's moved around with few restrictions until the stabbing at the Chautauqua institution. Sir Berto, you are being a pain in the booger face. Hey, the 256-page Knife will be published in the US by Random House. The Penguin Random House imprint that earlier this year released his novel Victory City, completed before the attack. His other works include Booker Prize winning Midnight's Children, Shame, and The Moor's Last Sigh. Rushdie is also a prominent active or advocate for free expression and a former president of PEN America. Yeah, well, it it wasn't anything terrible. It was just verses that some sects didn't believe were haram. It wasn't. Look, as I said, I'm not an expert. Don't it it simply was, something different and something. No, hey, where is my holy water bottle spray? Did you eat the bottle? All right, I'm giving up a crock. Have a crock. His okay. Knife is a searing book, a reminder of the power of words to make sense of the unthinkable. Penguin Random House CEO Nihar Malavey said in a statement, "We are honored to publish it." So I got a spray bottle for Fry, but in order to make sure that it's just water and everyone knows it's just water, I wrote holy water on it. Well, so I just wrote holy water on it, or and then Fry no. Yes, the crock is dead. I'm very proud of you. It was dishonor. It was being dishonorable. Hey, no, no, no. So I'm glad that he wrote a book, and I think I might actually read it because, you know, honestly, I don't know if I'd have the strength to come back to writing after an attack like that, even to put words on a piece of paper. So more power to him. I mean, now for the guy to say he's not guilty, I mean, I think we're going to have a little bit of an issue with that when it was all caught on freaking tape. But I'm sure it'll be like mental health or something. Or he was, provoked, I'm sure, by the mean words on the poor paper, just, hurt his feels. Because I'm getting really tired of people. Look, mental health is a real thing. Don't get me wrong. Friberto, that's enough. Sir, we are not having this discussion. It's not even 8. You can sit up here with me, or you can be bad boy. Hey, no face biting. Oh, wait, here we go. Now, I did not realize that people were stealing songbirds for reasons. Get your rope. What's wrong with you tonight? You have gone full demon mode for no reason. Conservationists say Cyprus police are lax in stopping gangs that poach songbirds. I had no idea this was a problem, but it seemed like an odd story. Why am I on Jada Pinkett Smith here, but songbirds here? I really didn't want to talk about Jada Pinkett Smith yet, because no one wants to talk about Jada Pinkett Smith, really. So I did not realize that songbirds were getting poached, but there is always news. Okay. A conservation group in Cyprus said Wednesday that police have been lax in cracking down on criminal gangs that illegally trap migratory songbirds to supply restaurants. People eat songbirds? In what? Okay, let's read further. To supply restaurants, although poaching has declined overall. A spokesperson for a conservation group, BirdLife Cyprus, said that even though the war on the songbird poaching generally has been won, gangs with links to the country's criminal underworld continue to make serious money by trapping on an industrial scale and are doing so with impunity. I guess, what kind of meal do you eat songbird with? I have no idea. Sir, go get the shoe. Oh, all right. Fry is going outside because he is in full on cray cray mode. We have reached the Fry cray cray mode. Okay, so according to the group's 2022 report, trapping last year dropped by as much as half in the survey area, about to 345,000 birds killed. But Shalis told the Associated Press there are still up to 15 major trapping sites that use mist nets, fine mesh between two poles to catch the birds. Some restaurant patrons consider songbirds to be a delicacy. A dozen birds go for as much as, like, do you eat them like chicken wings? For as much as 150 euros or $159. That just Look, every country has a different thing that they like to eat. I get it, but I think I'm just gonna stick to chicken wings because chicken wings are awesome. Buffalo wings, like, if I had to stick with one food, buffalo wings might be my food of choice. In other news of people of interesting moral backgrounds, we have Jada Pinkett Smith, the woman that destroyed Will Smith, more so than pretending to be the genie in a live action Disney remake. And who knew that was possible? All right, so Jada Pinkett Smith reveals that she and Will Smith have been separated for 7 years. Well, that's what is it? Conscious entanglements or whatever it is that she said she had with, her son's friend. That woman is, can we go ahead and say swamp hag? Skeezathor? Slagathor? Jada Pinkett Smith revealed that she and Will Smith have been separated for 7 years. Quote, "We're still figuring it out," the Girls Trip star told People in an interview published Wednesday. Quote, "We've been doing some really heavy-duty work together. We've just got deep love for each other. Not deep enough for you not to cheat." I think you're confusing the word love with, like, whatever you think is comfort or something, because you is confusioned. Oh, I remember hearing about that because you're so ashamed of, yourself for eating it that you don't want God to see you or something like that. Look, in my terribly uncultured American way, I remember some bits of things. Pinkett Smith said despite Smith's infamous 2022 Oscar slap, which she thought was a skit at first, she will always support the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air star. Quote, "I'm gonna stay by his side," she said of her longtime husband. Why are we still calling him her husband? And what in the absolute god earth-shattering renting hell is this dress? I mean, the top of it looks like a crinkle wrapper from some sort of green goo, and then, well, this just looks like the part of the wrapper that got all crunkled up. Look, I don't understand fashion. It does not look good to me. Yeah, she done ruined this man, and Will Smith is a good-looking man, and he seemed see, that's what really bothers me. He seemed like the one dude in Hollywood that was cool, like, genuinely nice, normal, and then she done broke this man to the point that he pimp smacked freaking Chris Rock, like, all 5'2" of Chris Rock. She done broke this man. Jada Pinkett Smith. He coulda had Stockard Channing. The Nutty Professor actress, well, there you go, 52, admitted to the magazine that she only realized the attack on Chris Rock, who had made a joke about her alopecia. He made a joke about her being bald. He didn't know. Hello, Lady Autumn Sky, and hello this way up. I'm sorry, I didn't get to say hello to everyone, uh, but I appreciate everyone. Yeah. Was genuine when Smith, 55, walked back to his seat. "Are you okay?" she recalled asking him. "Nuh-uh. It ma'am, please stop lying." Alright, we're gonna need the whiteboard for this because I have some truth and to explain out to someone because we remember this differently. Alright, so here's Chris Rock. Doop, doop. Here's the little microphone where he was making his little jokes. Pretend, because he didn't actually have a microphone, I think he had a freestanding one, and this is where he said his joke, and then Will Smith came up, and he's much taller. Doot, doot. Here's little Chris Rock. Sorry, Chris Rock, if you ever see this, look, I'm a terrible drawer, I'm just trying to show the size difference. This is not to scale, alright? And he just done pimp smacks him, just pimp smacks him right in the head, okay? And then you see Miss Angry Face, so let's just angry face with the angry eyebrows, and she is just big mad because right at the time he made his joke, and Will Smith was laughing until he saw Miss Angry Face, and then he looks over here and realizes he has to go home with Miss Angry Face. We'll make her bald too, because I don't care about her. We'll make her have one little curly hair because I don't care. But he sees Miss Angry Face and he realizes, separated or not, he's gonna have to go the hell home with her. And he's like, "Oh, hell, I better go do this." So don't you dare tell me that you did not know that this was not a joke, because this man was laughing at Chris Rock's joke until he saw big mad angry face and this look, and he was like, "Oh shit, I gotta go home with her." The whiteboard of truth knows. The whiteboard of truth knows. Miss, come on now. Um, Anxiety. But thank you. But yeah, it's been a lot of anxiety. Uh, but I will tell you guys after I finish the Jada Pinkett Smith because she's got all the bad vibes going. Let's see. In a sneak peek at her sit down interview with why is she still getting interviews? Yeah, and she's beautiful. She's a beautiful woman, but her personality is so ugly. So ugly. With Hoda Hoda Kotb. Look, I don't know who these people are. Uh, which airs Friday night on NBC, Pinkett Smith added that she and the I Am Legend star still live separately. Then why are you married? Although the pair have been separated for years, Pinkett Smith, who is releasing a tell-all memoir, oh, for the love of God, ma'am, haven't you discussed all your lady bits and entanglements and everything else embarrassing like your first getting to know yourself, self-love bits on your, overshare show, the red table. Haven't you done all of that again? Like, who's gonna buy her book? All one person? All one of you? The couple attended red carpet events as a family unit and even bought a new estate together, but in 2020, singer August Alsina said he and Pinkett Smith had an affair to which he claimed the Oscar-winning actor had consented. Yeah, because I always sit my husband down with my new boyfriend and, just tell him both the ground rules. "Look, I'm have seniority. One of you's doing the dishes and the other one's doing the laundry. Y'all can switch on the trash days." And that's how I do that. She does, you know what? She does kinda look like Megamind. I will be w if we start to do a live action remake, Netflix, I'm looking at you. I think we have a lead actress because we know how you like to swap things out. I have a market opportunity idea for you. I also can't this is so stinking cute. I love my Bobby Hill t-shirt. In this story, I love this dad. Dad strips down to crop top and Daisy Dukes at school board meeting to protest lax dress code. I can see Mr. Mo doing something like this, and then my kids changing their identities and moving out of state. Uh, quote, "It was dad bod diplomacy. A frustrated Arizona father stripped down to a belly-bearing crop top and unnervingly taut jeans shorts during a packed school board meeting to protest its lax dress code policy. Ira Latham removed his shirt at the podium, revealing a black garment that strained beneath his substantial midsection. New York Post, you don't have to shame this man like that. Everybody is beautiful. Sir, New York Post, body positivity. We do not fluffy shame here. It's mean and hurtful." As startled parents in attendance looked on during the late September gathering in Gilbert, he completed the jarring ensemble with a pair of snug jean shorts, according to NBC. Let's see. According to NBC 12, quote, "Under the proposed policy, this would be appropriate in the classroom," he told the audience at Higley Unified. Let me see if I can just show him stripping down. You won't be able to obviously hear it because Brave is ridiculous, but you will be able to see him stripping. So you won't be able to hear it, but you will see him stripping, which is also horrifying. And look, he has a bit of a muffin top. So gotta love the faces on the parents in the background, like, "What in the actual hell?" I Dirk, there's some people that would buy the dad a beer if he didn't put the shirt back on. But I'm sure a lot of under the proposed policy, this would be appropriate in the classroom, he told the audience at Higley Unified School District meeting. Latham said he picked up the items at a local thrift store ahead of his bold fashion statement. You gotta he went all out. He got the Daisy Dukes, he got a crop top. He probably found out if he was a large or a medium. I mean, dude had to figure out how hard it is to shop as a girl. And at least he put a button up, or a button-down top on afterwards. The controversy first started in May when the school board members decided or discussed loosening dress code standards that had not been updated since 2001. The panel's progressive wing asserted that existing restrictions disproportionately targeted females and proposed allowing exposed midriffs, spaghetti straps, and halter tops. Quote, well, I mean, look, it was a thrift store. You don't want to put on, maybe he just couldn't find shoes his size. Maybe he's a size 13 and they only went up to size 12s. Quote, "We're saying that they need to cover up because of the way it might make someone else feel, and that's wrong." No, it's called reality and boys have hormones, okay? It's called you dress for the job you want, and we are training you to be young professionals, go into college, go into the workforce, and you're not going to be wearing Daisy Dukes and crop tops to work, hopefully. Uh, Said Tiffany Schultz, governing board presidents. Others called for more stringent rules regarding dress. Quote, "If we're preparing our children to be college and career ready, then they need to learn to be able to have self-respect, and that doesn't include showing off their body parts," said a panelist, Anna Vec Yoke. Ma'am, did you well, never mind. Yeah, and I encourage look, if you have, a twisted and warped sense of humor and you're not easily offended, go see Alex Stein's latest, what is it? Oh gosh, he went to, like, a county board meeting, and it's look, if you are easily offended, stay away, but it's hilarious, but it's superty duper hot button topic. I can't even get into it on my stream for fear of being nuked, but it's definitely, hilarious, but you have to have kind of a warped sense of humor. Latham, whose daughter is in the district at Higley High School, took the latter position. Quote, "The dress code they wanted to get is basically a dress code for a public pool," he told NBC. "Make sure the kids cover their underwear, and that's about it." Despite his 11th hour protest, the board eventually voted for the more lenient dress code by a 3-2 margin. "It's going to be harder for teachers to deal with this new policy," the concerned dad said. "It's going to be distracting in the classroom, and it's gonna have some parents that want to pull, their kids out of the district." Look, parents, it's a hard choice, I'm not gonna lie, but if the public schools if you can deal with it, if you can afford it, and, you're in a right to choose kinda state, get your kids into private school if you can. Uh, During the virus of unspecified origins and unknown issues and such. Um, I was very close to creating a pod with other mothers. See, that sounds like a friend I would definitely go drinking with, but he'd have to realize we have to start at 4 o'clock in the afternoon because after 9, I turn into a pumpkin. Murph's turf. Friberto, have you gotten the crazy zoomies outta ya? That's a no? What is Yes, I love you so very much. Breakdancing to become an Olympic sport. Now this is old, but this pertains to the newer Olympics coming soon. I know you did not just So, BBC reports that breakdancing, otherwise known as breaking, will be included in the Paris 2024 Games. Other fringe sports with roots in cities such as skateboarding, 3x3 baseball, and freestyle BMX will be included in the program as well. Sport climbing and surfing are also going to join more established sports as Olympic events. Quote, "It's going to be great for breaking as It gives us more recognition as a sport. Karim Singh, a British breakdancer, told BBC Sport, "As for the Olympics, it will attract young people who may not know some of the traditional sports. Breaking, breakdancing, or b-boying, as you can tell, you guys, I am at the height of breakdancing knowledge. I too am comfortable with the young people. I am hip and with it, as if you hey, no. Was developed in the 1970s in New York boroughs, especially the Bronx. Since its inception, it has grown into a mainstream form of dance and artistic expression, commonly featured in films and other multimedia." So, there you go. America, if you don't win the breakdancing gold, I'm moving. I'm moving to well, I've always said I'd move to Guam, but I still contend we all chip in together and look, it's gonna be expensive, you guys, but here's what we do. We all chip in all of our money. We find 17 priests, couple rabbis, couple shaman, all the sage that we can find, and we buy a certain island of a certain man who did not do a certain thing to himself. We sage and bleach the hell out of that island. We perform a couple exorcisms on the island, but then we take that shit over and it's a private island. Now, again, we need to have a stash of holy water and a couple priests on the island, because I'm sure it's going to be haunted for a while. But desert island, paradise with all of us degenerates together forever. Paradise. And F around and find out for these young children who may not have learned some things. Harvard students scrambled to take back support letters attacking Israel as some CEOs look to blacklist them. Look, young children, you young Ivy League ding dongs. Okay, we've got one minister. We've got one minister. We only need to find 12 more priests, a couple rabbis, and we all need to hit the lottery together. Look, it shouldn't be hard. We just all need to hit the lottery. A flurry of Harvard University students and groups are desperately trying to backtrack on their support letter blaming Israel for the Hamas attack, as some business titans seek to blacklist them from future jobs. Oh no, it's like consequences. Remember when people said it's not cancel culture, it's consequences? Oh, those words are so mean. Four of the initial 34 student organizations attached to the inflammatory statement have already withdrawn their support, while board members of other groups have quit to distance themselves. No, look, I don't know what happens, but generally, you don't just sign things, as a group. You're kind of, sir, you have a bone. I understand that you would like my attention at all times, every day, every minute, but I am doing something. Late Tuesday, 17 other Harvard groups joined the round. Okay. Late Tuesday, 17 other Harvard groups joined around 500 faculty and staff and 3,000 others in signing a counterstatement attacking the other group's letter as completely wrong and deeply offensive, according to campus paper The Harvard Crimson. A letter from nearly 160 staff members also ripped Harvard's response to the scandal, writing it can be seen as nothing less than condoning the mass murder of civilians based only on their nationality. Others in groups supporting the initial letter, which held the Israeli regime entirely responsible for all the unfolding violence, quit while distancing themselves from any involvement. Danielle look, I'm not gonna say their names, but basically, as a board member of the Harvard group that signed the statement on Israel, I think it was egregious and have resigned from my role. I'm sorry for the pain I caused. You read the letter and still signed it. I mean, I'm sorry that you just realized F around, find out. Did you not read the letter before you signed it? You read that letter. You read it. I'm sorry. I perhaps I'm deeply confused about, did you not read it? Did you just like, "Oh, someone's got something to sign for me. Hope it's not my last will and testament or like a life insurance." Uh, let's see. My organization did not have a formal process. I didn't even see the statement until we had signed on. I I call BS. I call super duper BS, but that's just me. She stated that she quoted, "Prevented another student group, uh, I remain on the board, from signing it when I saw the statement. The statement is not representative of my values, and my heart is with those impacted." Uh-huh. I also want to make it clear that I know firsthand some of my fellow students are in the situation too. I wasn't the only board member that stepped down today. A law student, um, Moni Tangarini, also tweeted that many members had no say in whether their organization signed the letter. Wow, it sounds like everyone's like, "Oh, it wasn't me. Oh, it was them. Oh, it was someone else." No, you guys signed the letter. You guys have no problem calling everyone else, followers of Mr. Hankety Clankety every time we don't agree with your certain views, but as soon as you get, possibly blacklisted by powerful CEOs because you want jobs. Look, well, what had happened was we were never even near the letter, and someone had my signing stamp, and look, I wasn't even in the office today. Uh, Jerry, in a statement posted to Instagram, Harvard Gunguru said it would like to formally apologize for co-signing a statement made by the Harvard Palestine Committee. Mhm. Sure. Y'all, I'm not buying it, but that's just me. So we go through this frantic apology screed. Uh, then we go to the Harvard Undergraduate Nepali Student Association also released a statement on Instagram expressing regret at signing the letter, and that has been interpreted as tacit support. No, it not interpreted as tacit support. You basically said whatever happened, it was Israel's fault and they deserved it. Look, you can have whatever beliefs you want. This is a free country. You can have the dumbest ideas you want. That's fine. Go ahead with your bad selves. Y'all are paying for Harvard. I don't care. The thing is, though, that was not just tacit support. That was you basically saying, "S- Pound sand, Israel, you deserved it." In less words. Quote, "We deplore the attacks that have taken the lives of 100 innocent civilians, including 10 Nepali students in Israel." So I guess my basic question here is, when we get to the lower part of this article where CEOs are now wanting, basically are now headhunting, figuratively, not literally, but a bunch of CEOs are like, "We want names. We want names of all the people in these student organizations, and we want them blacklisted." Now, if that hadn't happened, if that hadn't come out, would you still be writing these, apology letters and like, we didn't see the writing, and it was written in hieroglyphics and we don't know how to read cursive. Harvard College Act on Dream told the student paper it only signed it as a result of a miscommunication and a lack of due diligence. Uh-huh. Sure. Sure, Jan. His name is George Glass, and he lives in Canada? The statement released by the Harvard Palestine Committee no longer lists the more than 30 student groups that had originally signed the statement, but rather says that the statement was co-op. Oh, you sweet summer children. The internet never forgets. You think you've memory hold this? Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. For student safety, the names of all original signing organizations have been concealed at this time. You don't think they have screenshots of those people? Oh. But the student organizations only seem to have released their statements after billionaire hedge fund manager Bill Ackman called for the university to release the names of students. And there it is. You guys didn't have human kindness come visit you. You didn't have, you know, morality come visit you. You had, "Oh my god, I'm not gonna get hired," come visit you. To release the name of the students in these groups so that they will not be hired by Wall Street. Quote, I have been asked by a number of CEOs if Harvard would release a list of the members of each of the Harvard organizations that have issued the letter assigning sole responsibility for for Hamas's heinous acts to Israel, so I can ensure that none of us inadvertently hire any of their members. Ackman, the billionaire owner or founder of hedge fund giant Pershing Square Capital Management, wrote on his ex social media account on Tuesday. If, in fact, their members support the letter they released, the names of the signatories should be made public so their views are publicly known. Ackman, a Harvard grad who has a net worth of 3.5 billion, added, quote, "One should not be able to hide behind a corporate shield when issuing statements supporting the actions of Terrys, who we now learn have done terrible, terrible things." As the backlash raged, Harvard President Claudine Gay released a statement Tuesday saying, "Let there be no doubt that I condemn terrorist atrocities perpetrated by Hamas." So basically, this is cover your ass. But student groups, if you don't think certain members of numbered chans aren't working on that list right now, I mean, look, I am dead awful on computers, but my guess is that the internet collective energy has already figured out half of these no half of your names, and that's not you know what? You guys release the statement. If you have your convictions held so proudly that you would like to, you know, spread them out to the world, well, then, like you always say, it's not cancel culture, it's consequence culture. In weird Michigan news, and I'll have to ask David about this, kids as young as kindergartners will be allowed to use cannabis at school if Michigan passes a new law. Uh, the legislation would legally allow students with approved conditions to consume medical marijuana in the form of edibles, beverages, and other low THC products on school premises. If this is for epilepsy or something like that, I am kind of okay with it, but let's continue. Michigan K through 12 students may soon be permitted to use medical marijuana and CBD infused products at school under a new bill presented last week. Proposed by Democratic representatives in the Michigan House, the legislation would legally allow students to consume edibles, beverages, and other low THC marijuana products on school premises or buses. The administration of these products would be overseen by a designated school staff member. Only students with clear written authorization detailing the timing uh, and purpose, such as for emergency relief of symptom or prevention of relief or symptom prevention, could use them. Quote, "What does It allow what it does is allow medical marijuana pediatric patients to have their medicine in school at the same way everyone else has their medicine stored. Michigan State Rep Jimmy Wilson Jr. told CBS News. The same way, whether it be a nurse's office or administration office, they would go up and access their medication the same way anyone else would, then they would go back to class. In addition, the bill showcases Michigan's evolving stance on drug policies, aligning with both its legal and illegal drug environment. For example, a bill introduced in September aimed to decriminalize psychedelic plants, and there was a recent revision to the drug testing policy for new hires this month. Well, uh, let's see. State Senator Jeff Irwin, a Democrat from Ann Arbor, expressed his intent to broaden the dialogue regarding specific substances and their place in society. Quote, "Should people go to jail for this? Should we be spending money for these crimes? My answer is no." Okay, here's the deal. You can either punish that with a crime, but then you end up like San Francisco and you have a bunch of you either punish it or you incentivize it. There's no happy medium. The government can't seem to do a happy medium where they just leave people alone. You can't just there's no happy medium in our country. We either go one pendulum or the other. So, the next bill will be for clean injection sites or something. It's just ridiculous. Uh, quote, Most of those students who have autism or have chronic pain or epilepsy have to take time out of the school day, miss instructional hours, and go off campus to take medicine and then come back." Da Dylan Wegla said one of the bill's sponsors discussed the new initiative with CBS. This would simply make their day a lot more cohesive. HB 5603, now under purview of the Committee on Regulatory Reform since September 28th, 2023, also offers guidelines on the transportation and storage of these products. It emphasizes that they should be managed like any other student medication. In 2015, a New Jersey teen with epilepsy and autism returned to full school time after winning a fight to have medical marijuana oil she needs administered to her at school. Inspired by her case, Governor Chris Christie enacted a law allowing parents or primary givers to give edible medical marijuana to their ailing or disabled children during school hours. This law also safeguards school districts from potential liabilities. As of January 2022, 36 states, 4 U.S. territories, and the District of Columbia have legalized medical marijuana. Meanwhile, 18 states, the District of Columbia, and 2 U.S. territories have legalized marijuana for recreational use by adults. In 2008, the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act made Michigan the 13th state to embrace medical marijuana. A decade later, with the passage of Ballot Proposal 1 in 2018, it became the 10th state to endorse recreational marijuana use. Notably, Michigan stands as the first Midwestern state to enact such legislation, which grants adults and eligible patients the right to acquire, possess, and consume marijuana. So there you go. When I saw the headline of this, I was a little, "Eh," but you know what? As a person that now deals with chronic pain myself, I can say that big pharma isn't always the answer, and if this will help students not have to go home, not have to have a bunch of, crazy disruptions in their day and helps them have a more cohesive life, then I am okay with it. It's really funny how your perspectives and views on things change as your situation changes. And for our final story, frogs fake it. But in a different way, to death. Female frogs fake their death to avoid having sex. So at least No joke, they croak. Female frogs fake their death to avoid sexual interactions, a new study found. Experts previously believed that she frogs weren't able to fend off unwanted male attention in the form of intimidation, harassment, and even forced smexy time that could potentially lead to to physical attachment of male frogs to females called amplexing. That's just odd. This mating behavior can result in death for female frogs, the scientist noted. But to the surprise of researchers from the Natural History Museum of Berlin, the female frogs have tactics for escape. They escapade. The study published Wednesday in the or in the journal Royal Society Open Science used video footage. We have frog porn now. I mean, I've never faked my own death to get out of smexy time, but life goals, I guess. Of the 54 females clasped in an embrace, 33% played dead or, in scientific terms, experienced tonic immobility, the stiffening of outstretched limbs, and the inability to respond to stimuli. Such behavior is typically a survival tactic to avoid predation in the animal kingdom, but it has only previously been reported in arthropods or other amphibians, the researchers said. Tonic immobility mostly occurs in conjunction with body rotation, of which 83 attempted, and vocalization of grunts or squeaks or release calls. So they're squeaking while they're dead? The researchers noted that smaller she frogs tended to try all three evasive maneuvers, perhaps due to the increased stress because of lack of mating experience, and appeared to be more stressful escape artists than larger amphibians. In the end, 25 female frogs successfully wriggled from the throes of male passion. While it appeared to scientists that the behaviors were mechanisms for escape, they noted that the bodily rotations could be the frogs testing the strength of their mate. Well, there you go. So, well, women, you have a new tactic. I'm not sure how it works. It seems to work for at least 33% of the frogs. So it's always worth a go. If not, you can just try grunting and groaning. On that note, I will let you guys go. I am going to take Fry out for the last time, get his zoomies out, and I will see you in the morning. And then we will try to catch up on the wherever we left off on the boy in the box trial. And we will be that doing that. But until then, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you tomorrow.